Hi everyone. Hi my friends. I wanted to give an insight on how I have I have spent my year as my first year as a junior soft, software developer at a company in Uganda. How things have been, how my development has been. So around one year and 6 months ago, I decided to. I saw something on YouTube about someone developing a YouTube clone. So I was so triggered by that, and I was so surprised to know that we have people who develop the things that we use. So really, that encouraged me now to start web development, because previously, like 2 months before that, I had found something about data science, and I was learning about Microsoft Excel, learning about MySQL. So I don't know it. While doing that, which was kind of hard, it was my first time interacting with computers on a serious note. I had not interacted with many of those things. So after that, I then saw the web development thing on, like, of the YouTube clone from some guy. I don't even remember the YouTube guy, but he's a good teacher. What is called? I don't remember. So after that, I started learning, like, for around 2 weeks before I joined a bootcamp. So when I joined that bootcamp, in that bootcamp we were studying mainly JavaScript, HTML, CSS, and we were doing React. Our main goal was to finish as React and Node developers. So the first 3 months we were doing front end technologies, where we did React, JavaScript, HTML, CSS, Tailwind, all that stuff. Then in the next three months, we were doing Node.js. So everything was new to me, but I really studied hard. I watched. I really studied hard. Okay, to the way I was, because I had another job I was doing in the animal veterinary sector. So I studied hard for the first 3 months of the front end, where I now got to know, uh, got to have a mastery, not a mastery, where I got to learn a lot of React. And then I went on to the back end. So in the middle of the back end, I there was a job opening at one of the companies, where I applied, because I don't know, I had put in some work, and I think it was God's plan, where then when we applied, I was applying with really experienced people. But when I applied, and I after, like, our technical interview, they sent me a message saying that I had the like I had a, the best technical interview. So it was really encouraging for me. So after that, I joined that company. That company is in Uganda. So when I joined that company, so let's go to the next section. So what I found at my first job. So when I reached that company, remember, we had done React, we had done Node, some part of Node, because I was in the middle of the back end boot camp, so I had not covered yet well, and now I'm going into my first job as a junior. So scared, that fear, and that feeling that I don't know anything. What? So after that, I then after joining, my first interaction with the engineer, because in Uganda we don't, most companies don't have a full set of of engineers working on one thing, like these professional things where you have a data analyst, where you have a web designer, where you have what, most of the time people do all those roles in one. You do the web design, you do the data analyst, you do the the development, you do the back end, you do the front end. So one engineer, you have to be knowing all that stuff. You do the everything. You like all that process. You should be knowing that, because yeah, most of the companies are like that. So what happened when, like, I was going to work closely with one senior engineer. He's so senior. He's so good. He's so good and hardworking. The first thing, he has right mindset, and he's so good. And not only so good, he believes in himself. He believes in God. He's so hardworking. So when I first met him, he was like, you know what? Here we don't use React. We use. He was naming for me the things they use. First told me we use React Native for this and this and this. We use Angular. By then, one of our systems was still in, like, one of the parts of the system was still in Angular Angular JS. So use Angular JS. We are using Django for a certain part of the system. We are using Flask for a certain part of the, part of the system. We are using, what did you say next? We are using Spring Boot uh, for a particular part of the system, that is for the back end. And it was a list of many technologies. Remember, for version control, they were using GitLab instead of GitHub. That was also another, because we were used to GitHub. Now we are going to GitLab. Trello. I don't know. It was, I don't know, shocking for me, because I didn't know that even this existed, that someone can be knowing all those things. But yeah, so let's go to the technologies used. I think I've mentioned many of those. We are using React Native, Angular, JS by then. Before we switched, before I was tasked to switch our code base from Angular JS to Angular, we're using Angular JS, Django, using Flask for a certain part of the system. And we are using Spring Boot for the back end, though we are using some parts of Django for the back end as well to run some stuff. Then we are using Spring Boot for another part. It was so much. So knowing that at hand, I was then it was around the Christmas period. I started watching videos. Oh, I watched videos. I watched videos from wherever I would be, whether I'm in a toilet, whether I'm eating, whether I'm drinking, whether I'm walking. I used to watch a lot of videos for me to understand how these technologies work, how the React Native worked, because I was using React in a bootcamp. All I knew is React. But it was easy for me to transit to React Native. But though it was easy, but it wasn't very easy. You had to learn it, because it is kind of very new and somehow kind of disturbing. It's not very straight, like straightforward, like React. It's kind of disturbing. It has some bugs and what. Okay, it doesn't have bugs, but it has its own challenges. So I worked on React Native was my first introduction. So I really, really, really put in a lot. I used to I would hardly sleep because I would stand like I would sleep like at around 12 or 11. Then I wake up like at around 3:30. So it was very I don't know how to say it, but those technologies really scared me. So generally throughout the year I have been interacting with new technologies every after like 1.5 months. After like interacting with React Native, which I interacted with it for some long time, after like 1.5, after like 2 months or so, then they introduced me to another code base, which is Angular. Then introduced me to another code base, which was in Django. So it has been really huge. I had to learn and unlearn a lot of my habits, my things, the way I did things, the time I woke up. So I had to change my life to cope with the pressure. It wasn't pressure I saw, but to cope with the fact that I was in people who knew things, because my senior engineers knew very many things, and I had to learn from them. I had to spend time, I had to invest time in learning, and I had to invest time in waiting for responses, and I had to invest time in asking questions. I had to learn how to ask, I had to ask when to ask, how to ask. I had to learn how to learn, how to unlearn, to change my habits to cope with with that kind of challenge that I got. So really, I don't know. Yeah. So experiences as a junior with limited team. So we are only majorly two. The third one, we are we are three, but majorly we are two engineers on the system. The third one is like a principal. He's like so he has been in the industry for so long. He's so good, and he biz his. It's not easy to get him because he's so busy, and but when you get him, he gives you a lot of value for generally when whatever he speaks is it's like it can be like 2 years of challenges. Whatever he speaks is so valuable. So uh, that's so generally we are three, but that the third one is just person who helps, like an overlooker, helps us in like a guide. He just comes and says this, we have to do this because of this. Then he's so good. Then the second one is a senior who is so hardworking. That's the first thing I know about him. He's so hardworking, and being hardworking and you're working with him, you cannot be and you cannot be you cannot fail to be hardworking because now he's so good, but he's still hardworking, and he believes in himself. So it was really very good experience for me. So currently, by the way, I'm working on a mobile application which is in Kotlin. So you can imagine I am trying to learn Kotlin now. So all that uh, right now after this video, I have to go and keep searching about what Kotlin is, how to do it, and remember, like this code base is kind of old. It's not like recent stuff. You have to learn the new stuff, and then you have to know how to implement them in that old code base, and you have to kind of start upgrading it because now we have issues with with Google Play Store pushing back the apps and saying now this can this can no longer work. This can do what? So you have to upgrade the code base to fit the Google Play Store requirements. So generally, I have to go and learn Kotlin, how like Android like Android development in Kotlin, the current trends, and I also have to now go and find a way of how to handle this old code base and upgrade it so that it fits that. So it is so that's the process I've been going through. I, I don't know. React Native, I have really suffered with React Native upgrading it because the code base was kind of cold. So I had to learn dependencies, how to upgrade them, sometimes get frustrated. It has been a very, 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 very good experience as a junior in my first year. Really, it has been good because I've gotten a chance to learn in a very short period of time. Generally, now when I meet most of the time when I meet people and they ask me what I'm doing, and I tell them, people are just they just touch their heads and like, hey man, how did you? They be asking questions. The industry has that narrative that so it's not easy to find someone who knows a lot of these languages, but the fact that God has blessed me to now be able to learn and make maximum use of my time to learn these technologies and implement them. It is a blessing that I can't overlook, really. Yeah. So experiences as a junior with a limited team of only three, it has been really, I had to learn to do things, to make decisions on my own, because even the senior engineer and the principal engineer that I'm working with, they also have a lot on their hand. So you generally you sometimes fear to ask them, so you have to invest in looking for things yourself most of the time. Things like these small bugs, you don't need to be asking, so you have to look for things and then know how they work, why they work, because at the end of the day, when whatever you implement, you have to give a full-fledged report for it. Not a full-fledged, but a simple report of why you used that, how you came up to that, why you used that, and why it should be qualified and added to the master code base to be used by the people, by the clients. So it's a lot. It's a lot with, yeah, but it's a blessing to have a lot, since those challenges keep you growing. Those challenges keep you learning. So I've learned, guys. I've learned. But one thing. So the next one was learning YouTube videos and mindset shift to be able to cope. So as I told you, like in the beginning of this video, I had to learn and unlearn a lot of things. I had to plan my day, when to pray, when to do certain things, when to eat, when not to eat, when to do what. But everything was planned. So after just 1 year, it's like I've been in a university of my own. It's like going to a university and they tell you you're going to learn things you have to learn like in 4 years, to learn them in 1 year. And you have to do that. Our bodies are kind of God created. God created us in a really mesmerizing way. That you have to, when you set out to do something hard, your body most of the time will cope with it. So if you limit yourself and you be like, you know what, let me do this one, then you start saying, let me do this one, like this small thing. You should know your body can do many big things, but you've decided for it to do small things. And yeah, it's okay. I don't know if it's okay with most of you, but I realized that my head can take in a lot, far more than what I thought it could take in. I realized that I can learn far many things that I didn't even expect that I could learn. The first time I learned with React, I was like, the good thing I've learned React. Now I can I hope I'll only use React in my professional setting. Hope. I was so shocked. I was shocked that someone can can be running different code bases and maintaining all of them, and all of them are different languages. So YouTube videos, I talked about this. I used to watch YouTube videos. I used to watch YouTube videos everywhere I was. I used to move with my phone everywhere, even when I'm going to the shop. At least that time when I'm going to the shop, I have to listen to some encouraging video talking about something about software, how it works, something like that, about the computer world. Yeah. Then the next one was the importance of understanding the programming basics and how the web works towards your learning. So one of the things that have pushed me to till now is the fact that I invested time and effort in understanding the basics of programming languages. Things like variables, things like loops, things like classes, functions, all these things, you have to invest time. If you are a junior developer watching, you have to invest time in learning those basics. How the web works, how people send data from one place to another, how people use APIs to transfer data, how the internet works, how someone sends HTTP requests from here to there, how they get the response. If you understand these things, if you invest time to understand these things, which most people don't understand, if you understand these things and invest time in understanding how the programming languages work, those basics like loops, functions, classes, objects, arrays, functions that edit those arrays, all those things. If you understand those things and you can speak them to someone, generally, if you get like a buddy whom you learn with, and you people be speaking that kind of language, and you're teaching yourself, say arrays do this, objects, like something like that. Because web development may not need things that go very deep into the programming languages, but if you take your time and master those basics of programming languages, if you master them, then you can work on any programming language that you see. It's just change of syntax and what, but the only people that can survive in such a way that I have been in such an environment of challenges, like how I've told you, is if you got the basics. If you didn't get the basics, you will look at a loop in Spring Boot and then you'll be like, now a loop in Spring Boot. You'll be scared on the go and then you just quit. But understanding the programming basics and how the web works, when someone talks about an API, a server, I remember the the principal that I've told you about. He asked me when I had just joined, "What server are you using?" And I was scratching my head. I was like, "What server? What? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know about server. I didn't know what the server meant, but I just knew that we have the back end, front end that does this. I knew how to do the things that I didn't know how that some this was called a server. I didn't know. And yeah, I have all those things come with you first learning the basics. Otherwise, people will tell you to implement things, and it's hard to implement things that you don't understand. Otherwise, you will get knocked out. It's you cannot listen to these different videos I was listening to and grasp all those things first if you didn't get the basics. If you are learning React, make sure you learn React from the root. You learn React, you learn JavaScript from the root. Learn the JavaScript, how it works, how it does its things, like its things. Learn the TypeScript. Because I have not wasted a lot of time to learn TypeScript, but I know how TypeScript works because I learned the basics of JavaScript. Now I know TypeScript, and it was easy for me to transition to React. It was easy for me to transition from React to React Native because I knew the basics of React. I knew how use effect works, what it does. I knew how use state works. And one thing that I have to say that one thing that has helped me is that these YouTube videos, yes, some people may say that they are not uh, useful, but one thing that they will help you if you keep on watching them. Get Try different teachers. Me, I used to jump from different channels, looking for the people that now this looking for people I can understand. Someone like Net Ninja, I use Net Ninja's things a lot because his videos were short, straight to the point, and short. So it was hard for you to get overwhelmed because now instead of watching a video that is like 2 hours long, if you watch a video in like seven minutes, that helped a lot than watching a 2 hours long video, which can really make you which can really knock you out, and maybe now leave that video afterwards. But let me just things. Then I watched this guy. There's some guy. So it's called what? Some old guy who teaches very well. I have forgotten him. But I've been jumping different YouTube people on all these different languages because different people different languages for Spring Boot, Angular, what all those people. So all those things I was able to do them, and those YouTube videos really helped me to take the fear out of the language. If now I wanted to learn Angular, firstly I would fear to learn it. I was like, no, Angular what? But when I watch a video, just looking at how the person is coding, it takes away that fear, and then you start getting that confidence of now doing the language yourself. So it's really important to learn the programming basics and how the web works towards learning. Yeah, it's really important. So the other thing I noticed that languages don't matter. Okay, they matter, but languages matter less. The first thing, if you learn the basics, learn how the web works, languages, it's just like a language. Eh? Things like Python. If you learn Python well, if when you go to JavaScript, it will take you like I don't know if a week is too long, but to take you very short time for you to get a grasp of how JavaScript works. If you learn JavaScript, it will take you a very short time to learn how things like Kotlin work. If you learn Java, it will take a very short time to learn how Kotlin works. You see, those languages are the same, like in terms of what they do and what. And if you learn the basics, then everything is good. So the most important thing is to implement the tasks that you have at hand. So you can only do that if you have that mindset. Languages don't matter less. You've you've learned the programming basics, how the web works, so it is easy for you to transition from this code base to another one even though they're in different languages. Even for the back end development, you have to be learning. You have to know those basics, how databases come in play, how you send APIs, how you receive HTTP requests, how you send responses. All those things, they are basics that are used in all the frameworks that we use, be it Django's framework, be it Spring Boot, be it anything really. Any backend anything you've ever heard of uses the same type of request, HTTP request, response, request handlers, really connecting to a database, storing data, all those things. Those are all basics that are really interlocked in a lot of the frameworks and languages that we use. So if you get the basics, then it's good. So importance of asking questions. Yeah, this is very important. It has helped me a lot, knowing how to ask so that you don't overwhelm the person that you're asking. You have to be specific. You don't ask a question like, I have failed, I have failed man to do this. No, you have to be like, when while I was doing this, this came up, and it is preventing me from going forward. A specific question. Let me say, uh, I failed to I failed to understand how this loop is refusing me to reach here. Maybe I have an error on a dependency. You have to specify the dependency, how you came about it, so that the person you're asking now, it is easy for them to understand, and after that to help you in the shortest of time. Otherwise, if you ask general questions, now the person has to understand where you are for themselves, which they don't require, and it will be overwhelming. Next time, they will not be willing to help you. Yeah, so it is a lot. You have to be know how to ask questions. You have to be able to communicate, not sit with a bag. You may sit with a simple bag and you spend on it like months. You spend on it like weeks. When when you can take it to someone solves it in like 2 minutes. So you have to be very careful. You have to be ready and willing to ask questions and have very good communication skills. So how challenges have set me apart from another juniors out there and skyrocketed my value. Yeah, really, having these challenges that I've been talking about in this video have put me I don't know miles, but that's put me well apart from most of the juniors. So the mindset shift, which is very important, and the learning, the unlearning, really being willing to learn, it is something that will put you far apart. Being willing to learn, having that will to learn new things, that will put you far apart, because most people, learning is hard. So most people, moreover, and mostly if you're just starting out, you will look like a fool when learning something and you're not getting it, and someone is just when you ask someone just tells you, that one is very simple. That is very hard. You have to be able to take it in and know that you're learning and be able to learn. And so that really, whenever I meet a junior developer, my fellow junior developers, they think I'm coming from Mars. I'm not coming from Earth. Think like I'm some kind of alien. Yet it's not the case. It's just habits, mindset, and believe in God, believe in yourself, and yeah. Lastly, really believe in God, then in the abilities God has given you, and work extremely hard more if yeah, really. Firstly, believe in God. Yeah, that's very important. It's it, if you interlock things like you believe in God and pray. After prayers, you have a list of tasks you have to accomplish. When you have to accomplish them, second, you have to believe in in the abilities God has given you. You have to avoid things like I can't do this, I can only do this, I can't do this language, I can only do this language. All those things, all those things will put you in the biggest number. So you don't expect to be an extremely talented person when you're not willing to take on new things. Because now you may be using Kotlin, and after a year, Kotlin is now no longer being used, and something else is being used. Or maybe you move from this job where you're using React, and now the next job you have to use Kotlin. And if you don't believe that your head can intake something new, and if you don't believe in what God has given you and the abilities that God has given you, hey man, you will just stay where you are. You even fear to change jobs. You'll be like this kind of person. No, no, no. I want to be in this job because I'm just a front end engineer, just a front end developer where I only use Canva and React, where I only use my friend. Things don't like yeah, that's it. So really, one thing that the last thing I will talk about really, that's the last statement. Believe in God, believe in your abilities, work extremely hard. More so if you are a junior like myself. Work extremely hard. More so if you're a junior like myself. And just about so really, if you work hard like for about 3 months on something, after 3 months of you extremely working extremely hard on that thing, things are going to become easier. They're not going to, when you work hard towards something, things become easier, not harder. So the more time you take while not putting in that hard work, the more time it will take while you are in hardship. So the faster you know that when you work hard in this short period, it's like starting a business. When you work hard in that starting period and you know you have to work hard, then you do it. After a certain period of time, not after a certain period of time, as time goes on, things become easier. Even like going to the gym, as time goes on, things become easier. The things you are carrying now will become easier as you go on. It's like now coding. When you do React, you dedicate 3 months to just learn the basics and learn everywhere you are. Not like every time you think about React for just 1 month. After that 1 month, things will become easier because you know what you're dealing with. So whenever I'm given a new code base, I take a certain period of time, like 2 weeks, 1 week, just on that, just learning that language, just watching videos, watching like reading articles, what about that language only, and doing it maximum. After that 1 week of me doing that, while doing other things, because you have to implement tasks that are that are at hand. But aside from that, you'll be learning. After that 1 week, when you now look at the code base, because you'll be looking at the code base and you're fearing, but as you're watching your videos, you start getting the confidence, you start getting the understanding of it. And when you get understanding of something, it is easy for you to implement tasks. When someone just tells you, we have like like our client is experiencing this, is failing to upload their profile pic. In your head, it just clicks that I have a file called this that has to implement this, and that's where you go immediately, and that's where you will start from debugging and doing all those things. So it is so important for you to put in the hard work as fast as you can so that you don't take a long time in that loop of, of being frustrated. Look at things and you're looking at things and they are not clicking. Yeah, you just put in, so things will become easier. And the more you work hard, the more time you get when things are easier. Yeah, so really, I've learned a lot of things debugging. I've learned a lot from my senior about debugging. That's another session that you need as a junior to know how to debug things. It is so you can be frustrated on like a small thing, and your senior comes and be like, "You first remove this," and we see. Then you remove just something small, which which you didn't see for almost 2 days, and yeah, the thing starts working. It is so important, really. I think that is it. That is what I wanted to share with you people. My first year as a junior software developer and the boost that I've gotten through getting different challenges and the blessings that I've gotten from God. Yeah, those are different challenges. As you can see, my laptop is full of my the different Docker. I had to learn Docker. Docker is also some hard stuff to learn how to use IntelliJ. I had to learn how to use Android Studio, which I'm learning now. Right now, I'm working. I have to work on a Kotlin project. I'm now learning Kotlin. I don't know how hard that is. Kotlin. Oh, so I am now using Android Studio which should be somewhere on my PC. think it is I think it is down here. Where is it? Where did this Android Studio go to? So I have running Android Studio. Oh, yes, no. I don't know what this laptop is showing, but I had Android Studio here. Hmm. Yeah, so generally that's it. I had Android Studio, but I'm not seeing it. Yeah, it's here. So all these things, it has been a big journey for me, really. So I am so pleased and thankful to God for all that, and I hope that all of you who are juniors like me can put in the hard work as soon as possible so that we don't take a lot of time. Yeah, in that loop of hardship. Thank you. That is it from me. Bye.